Hi, this is Erin Hinton, and I am in ECCE 1121, the practicum, and this is our mock interview assignment. You will hear my daughter asking me the interviewing questions. She has requested to remain off camera, but you will hear her, and let's get started.
Hello, Miss Hinton. How would you describe your teaching style?
Hi, thank you for having me. My teaching style, I think, has become kind of a marriage between several different styles that I've been exposed to over the years, primarily Montessori, Reggio Emilio, and Waldorf. I am prone to believe that I am a child centered teacher and that I teach to the whole child. So I encompass a lot of social and emotional learning and a lot of play based learning into my classroom on a daily basis.
Okay. How will you teach children cultural diversity in the classroom?
I'm glad you asked that because it's very important to me. I believe, especially in the age that we're in right now, where DEI is on the chopping block, I firmly believe that every child needs to be seen and heard in the classroom. So I would, on a daily basis, incorporate cultural diversity into all of areas of learning. We would play music from around the world. We would have different art projects. I would invite guest speakers in to speak with the children. We could do cooking projects. I would have books of all different genres showcasing different family types, books with different languages in them, and also around the classroom at child's eye level, I would place lots of pictures with different skin tones from different countries and just get to know my families really well so that way I can be very specific and intentional with incorporating things that are close to whatever students I have in my room at the time.
What are your views on weekly lesson plans?
I think it's important to have weekly lesson plans for a few different reasons. I think that it allows teachers to take a moment to reflect on what our goals are going to be for the week. We can think about what worked well the previous week and then build on that. I think it helps children and their families to kind of know what to look forward to and what to expect. And I also enjoy changing up my lesson plans every week because that allows me to incorporate some new things into the classroom. I like to switch the manipulatives around so that it kind of supports whatever theme or project we're working on for the week. I think it's important that children get exposed to kind of a newness in the classroom so it's not the same centers, the same maps, puzzles, etc. around the room. You change it up weekly and provide that spark.
What do you find most challenging about working with children?
I think that after the pandemic hit, I think it made some changes in early education where teachers we had to learn how to kind of pivot a little bit more in the classroom because when we got our students back, they had been exposed to extended time periods of screen time. There was less interaction among their peers, perhaps less structure in their cognitive assignments at home. And so that became a whole new kind of way that teachers had to take a step back and realize okay, this has put our children behind a little bit, social and emotionally. And we had to really learn how to bring those families back into the classroom, get them re engaged, reintroduced to structure, and just to let those families know that we understand that that was an interesting time in our education system, and that we're going to work together going forward to catch the children up and make sure that that we don't have any further delays going forward.
Okay, and could you please tell me how you would handle challenging behavior?
Of course, being in early education, we all know that that happens. I believe in a nurturing stance. So, first thing, anytime there's challenging behavior in a classroom, I always make sure at all times to remain with a steady, caring, and calm demeanor and make sure to get down on the child's level. I try to figure out if I can pinpoint kind of where the breakdown in communication is happening. Oftentimes, children at that age, they can't come right out and tell you, Miss Hinton, I feel this way because they don't know sometimes. They just feel the way they feel. And so it's important as teachers to be observant and to really get to know your children. So that way, let's say, for example, children are fighting over a specific toy or manipulative in the classroom. I would notice if it tended to be an ongoing problem, like let's say everybody wanted a particular baby doll. Then I would go to the administration and I would say, there's a particular doll that X, Y, and Z students are having some concerns over. We're having some arguments. Is there a way that we could perhaps get a couple more of that baby doll introduced into the classroom? That way, you're eliminating kind of the source of that conflict and introducing children into a different way of problem solving and just letting them know that we're going to figure things out.
We are receiving a lot of applications for this position. What makes you stand out from other candidates that we may be considering?
That's a great question. I think because of my experience, I have been in the early education environment for a very long time. It's been over 25 years, and I have been under the wings of some amazing mentor teachers. So I think I would bring a stability and a calmness into the classroom that comes from that reassurance that I've seen a lot of things over the years, and I've learned how to handle conflict. I know how to think outside of the box, and I'm very intuitive and cognizant about what's happening around me. And I also believe that one of my best qualities is my ability to bring the children's families into the classroom. I am a great bridge between home and school, and I could be a very supportive person in your school overall.
Okay, Ms. Hinton, and my final question for you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I will be continuing my education. I recently have received my associate's degree. I'm going to continue on and receive my bachelor's. I also have the goal of becoming fluent in Spanish. I'm currently learning the Spanish language, and I would see myself as either being a librarian in your school, just a teaching mentor, but I'm going to continue and further my education with the Waldorf School.
All right, and do you have any questions for me?
I do. I am wondering, do you know what the exact start date would be? I know I saw in the job posting that August 2nd is the first day of school. Could you tell me what day you would like the candidate to be there for pre-planning? And then my second question is, are there any stipulations or anything that I need to know about for relocation. I did see that there was a brief mention about a relocation package, but there were no details on there. So I was just curious as to what that was. Thank you.